This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. I hate the last two videos, but boy, am I ready to see the sunshine in my face. Yes. Now, this is going to be real confusing if the other two videos go up after this video, so, you know, bear with me. But I've been accused of being a hater in the other two videos we recorded by Colb. But boy, am I seeing the sun today, because the Browns have traded for Zadarius Smith. They've made a lot of moves, and this Zadarius Smith one seems like the one that made everybody go like, yeah, Browns ain't bullshitting. We winning this year. You know what I mean? Let's go. Everybody was a little hesitant, right? Was a little hesitant before this move. You know, Dalvin Thomas, that's good. You know, Juan Thornhill, that's cool. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, Elijah Moore, I like that. I like that move. You know what I mean? These are good moves. These solid moves. But, you know, we just needed that one to put us over the top, to make us feel like it's okay to believe. And I guess Zadarius Smith was the one. Like, I didn't see it coming, Colb. I didn't see it coming at all.
Hey, bro, we had to do an emergency space. I was like, what are y'all talking about? Because I was like, why y'all bullshit, man? It's Friday. I'm trying to enjoy my Friday. And then I started looking on ESPN. I'm like, oh, we really did that. We really did that. And I need people to understand. This ain't no regular move, dog. Like, once you dig into the numbers, once you really dig into like the stats and the numbers and pressure rates and pass rush win rates and sacks and everything, I'm like, dog, Miles ain't have nobody that was this productive. I guess if you want to say Jadeveon Clowney in 2021, like,
well, to be fair, Olivier did have 9 sacks in 2020.
He did have 9 sacks, but he wasn't this though. He wasn't this.
He wasn't putting up them pressure numbers.
He wasn't
hurry numbers. He wasn't putting up them run stop numbers like Zadarius Smith. You know what this move requires? I got to get this. We got to go up. I got to stand up for this one. You know what I mean? Because it's the fourth quarter. You know, it's the fourth quarter. And do you know what this means? We all in. You know, you standing up when you're all in. You're ready to go. You know what I mean? Defense. I'm ready. You know what? The Browns have put me through so much crap. They done put me through so much garbage. They done put me through so much pain, Colb. I'm ready to forgive all of that, man. I trade it all because we done traded it all this year, the year before, and the year previous. I don't know when the next time we got draft picks, but I know come draft time, Andrew Berry about to have about 7 of them, because every year we got like 2, and then he find a way to get to 7. So shout out AB. You know what I mean? I said on Twitter that at this point, answering AB's calls about a trade is about the equivalent of letting your girl kick it with Future. Like, hey, man, you did it to yourself. Like, everybody knew at this point. Like, come on now. Like, hey, you can only expect what happened there. And now, speaking of things that we can expect, in this moment of jovialness, we gonna find the 2 biggest haters we know. Mike Florio and Chris Sims did a video.
God, can we not ruin the vibes, dog?
Nah, man. we gotta hear the other side. We gotta hear the other side, buddy. You know?
Oh, you really gonna ruin the vibes, dog?
Hey, look, man. You think they hating? They not hating. You know what I mean?
Listen,
Chris Hill's not hating.
You know there is no bigger Browns hater than Mike Florio.
Oh, Mike Florio, big time. Mike Florio just be hating. Like, I think Mike Florio hates for fun. I saw that man on Twitter. He was hating on the XFL. Who does that? Who does that?
The XFL
what kind of gremlin do you have
fun.
to be? You know what I mean? Like, when he retweeted XFL, oh, you're calling this a world championship? I'm like, dog, you are a gremlin.
Like, who would hate on the XFL? The XFL is literally just fun. It's just fun.
It's literally not even in your face. You know what I mean? But Mike Florio be hating, dog. He is a professional hater. And not like a professional hater in the way that like Colin Coward is a professional hater and he's paid to hate. No, man, he be doing freelance hatred. Like, it's weird, dog. Like, he don't even get paid to do this hating. He do this hating from his own brand's account. That's crazy. That's crazy. For the love of the game. Like,
hey,
I don't know whether to respect him for it or to hate him for it. But
you know, normally I respect the man who hates just to hate, who's really about hate. You know what I'm saying? Some people like to dip their toe in the hate. Nah, man. Nah, that's not me. If you go hate, you go all the way. You go all the way.
In Mike Florio's head, when he wakes up, he puts on that 3-button polo and he hears a PA announcer says, and the point guard of the haters, 6'6" from North Carolina, Mike Florio. He's just out there just hating. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never seen this man smile. Have you seen Mike Florio ever smile? Ever give genuine cheer about anything? Nah, man. The man hating.
Hey, if Dave Chappelle was still doing the Dave Chappelle show, Mike Florio would 100% be in the player haters ball. 100%.
Hating. He be in the player haters ball. You know what I mean? Like, 100%. It's got to be tough to hate this much. It's got to be tough. Like,
is it tough or is it easy?
I don't know, man. Sometimes he be finding tough ways to hate. Like, he don't just go for the easy things, right? The easy things to hate on. Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? Russell Wilson. He don't be hating on that. He be going for the hard stuff sometimes. Like, he be like, you know what? I'm going to hate on the XFL. You know what I mean? I'm going to hate on the spring league full of people just trying to make a living. Like, these dudes out here making $50K hating on it. Like, yo. Hey, like, what? Who hurt him?
That's the real question. Who hurt you, Mike? Who hurt you, Mike?
You know what I mean?
We brought up Future. Just listen to Future, bro. It's gonna be all right. We've all been in.
Is he a Jets fan or something like that? Like, that would make sense, you know?
Going back to Philadelphia without Za'Darius Smith, who had 10 sacks last year for the Minnesota Vikings and has been a very great pass rusher. He was with the Ravens, then he was with the Packers, joined the Vikings last year. He wanted out after one season, made it clear that he wanted out. The Vikings traded him Friday night.
He did play quarterback.
A 2025 6th rounder and a 2025 7th rounder in exchange for a 2024 5th rounder and a 2025 5th rounder. This is one of those my son and I were talking about. It's the grains of rice trade where you have to give us a pick and we give you a pick.
He's teaching his son to craft, man. He's teaching his son to craft. Boy, somebody better recruit. Somebody better send FS1 to his son's, like, you know, his son's lunch table conversations. I bet some hating be going on there.
The grains of rice.
Grains. Well, he teaching them to. It's like getting one-on-one advice. This is like the Bronny James of hating right there. It's Mike Florio Jr.
We're going to balance it all out that way and make it look like a fair deal. Look, the bottom line is he wanted out. And they unloaded his salary. I think he had some guarantees in there this year. So they found a way to work it out. They get some value for a guy who doesn't want to be there. And my position has been all along. All due respect to Za'Darius Smith, great player.
Hold on, wait.
You get rid of the entire defense, and it's not going to be any worse than it was last year. No. Collectively, it was ass last year. So Za'Darius doesn't want to be there. We don't want hostages. We want volunteers. You move.
Hey, he's not lying, though. That is one concern. We are very excited about adding 2 dudes for the worst defense in the NFL last year. But it's not that, though. That's not why they were bad last year. It's because of Za'Darius Smith and Dalvin Thomas said they were probably the 2 good things for that defense. But he does got a point. You know, hating Mike he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
You move on to the Browns, and he becomes now, presumably, the latest Jadeveon Clowney. It didn't work with Clowney the past couple of years across from Myles Garrett. Now, we'll see if Za'Darius Smith can get it done across from one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised, right? Kind of one of these things where you just wondered, when is something going to happen? It was kind of been on everybody's radar. Knew he wasn't happy. They got Danielle Hunter. They got Marcus Davenport in free agency. Right, those, you know, that seemed like when they got Marcus Davenport, I thought, "Ooh, that's the replacement for Za'Darius Smith," right? So they played the exact same position, so it just seemed like it was a matter of time, and you wondered how it was all going to get figured out. And here comes the Cleveland Browns, and to your point, yeah, it is. It's their new version of Jadeveon Clowney, but maybe even a guy that has got more pass rush value than Jadeveon Clowney the last 2 years. That's maybe the exciting thing. Now he's getting up there in age, and we're getting the injury.
There's that knee.
There's
that
a knee,
keeps
right?
Popping up.
Right.
That
He had
happened
the
last
back
year.
2 years ago, right? Wasn't it? So
Of course, he know all the injuries. You know what I mean? He first.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
The knee. There's that knee. You saw how he came up. Look. Let's cut the film down. You know what I mean?
value than
Look at it.
Jadeveon Clowney the last 2 years.
Chris
That's
Smith
maybe
being a
the
little
exciting thing. Now he's getting up there in age, and
optimistic.
we're
getting up there in age, and then here come Mike Florio, quick to cut off the screen. You know what I mean? Here come that knee.
There's that knee.
There's
that
a knee,
keeps
right?
popping
That
up.
knee.
Right. He
That
had the
knee.
back
Yeah.
2 years ago, right? Wasn't it?
Oh, you talk about his back?
He is certainly at an age where teams start to worry. But for Cleveland Browns,
Look how happy he
themselves,
is with himself.
I think
too,
this
you know?
was like the one glaring area of their team where you looked at to go, who's going to line up opposite of Myles Garrett? What are they going to do here? They got Jim Schwartz, new D coordinator there in town. And it did seem like they were incomplete. And obviously, this is why. They had this on their radar. They got it done. And I think it's a good fit for them overall.
So the Vikings defense last year, which was abysmal, they were 13-4, but they allowed more points than they scored. They were ranked 31st, I think, in average yardage per game allowed. They've lost Smith.
Have you ever seen a team that got taken less seriously despite having as good as a record as the Minnesota Vikings did last year?
Bro, it was so funny because you know how in the NBA there's a team that be the 1 seed, but don't nobody respect them being the 1 seed.
The Atlanta Hawks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that 1 seed, and like all the other teams at the bottom of the conference are like, man, I hope we get to play that. Like
it's the opposite
saying?
of what happened with the Heat this year, where everybody was trying to avoid playing the Heat in the first round. It's like everybody's trying to play you in the first round this year. You know what I mean? What can we do to play this team with 60 wins that we know ain't really that good because they got nobody who can actually score the football? That's what the Minnesota Vikings were. You know what I mean? And we all knew it, except for people, and even when you say people in Minnesota, select people in Minnesota. Like, it was Minnesota Viking fans that knew they ain't have a damn chance in no playoffs. Like, they knew walking in there with a horrible defense and Kirk Cousins, like, yeah, that's going to work, right? Like, come on now. But it was the least seriously taken team with that good of a record I've ever seen. Like, not a single person was like, you know what, the Vikings could make it to the NFC Championship. And if you did, you were laughed out the building as if they weren't 13-4. But they were a stinky 13-4. It's hard to describe. Like, they just weren't a good.
It's really hard to explain. Like, if you didn't watch football and you were trying to explain the Minnesota Vikings to somebody who didn't watch the NFL, they would think you're insane.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with Kirk Cousins? They'll look at the Kirk Cousins stats and be like, what are you talking about? He seems like a good quarterback, These are good numbers. And it's like, nah, man, you just gotta, it's one of them things. It's like, you just gotta know, you know what I mean? You gotta be in the community, to understand why it is. Like, it's like Logic, I bet if you don't listen to a lot of hip hop, you think Logic is great. And I'm about to piss off some people because I know it's people who listen to Logic in this audience. But if you don't listen to a lot of hip hop, you think Logic is great. You don't understand why so many people don't like Logic. But if you do listen to a lot of hip hop, Colb, you bumping Logic? How much Logic you got on rotation right now?
Oh, right now?
If you did, would you ever tell me?
No. That's one of them things. One of the things you listen to in the privacy of your own home.
We all got him. I used to listen to Hobson back in the day. Like, it is what it is, dog.
It is what it is, dog. It is what it is.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just good that I don't listen to it now. But that's all I'm saying. That's what the Minnesota Vikings were. They are the Logic, they are the Macklemore of football, Like, you don't know anything about it. You think they pretty good. Oh yeah, it's popular. You like rap, you probably like Macklemore, right? It's like Nickelback. It's like anything that's like insanely popular, but you're like, nah, man, don't nobody actually like that. You know what I mean? Am I wrong? Flow Rider. That's what they are. They're the Flow Rider of football.
Hey, respect Flow Rider. That man got to a bag. Do you hear me?
Look, he got the most money. I've never listened to a project of his, and I never will willingly. But you know what? I know Flow Rider got a bunch of money, like Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins got hits. Kirk Cousins got 3,000, 4,000 yard seasons. You know what I mean? He got numbers. He a legend at the bank. You know, he a Bank of America first team All-American. But ain't nobody bumping no Kirk Cousins. The same way ain't nobody bumping no Flo Rida. Like, you know what I mean? When it comes down to it and you do a best rapper bracket, somebody got to remind you to put Flo Rida in it because you don't really even see that as serious. This is like having Flo Rida in a conversation of best rapper and you put him next to like Kendrick Lamar. It's like, dog, this is disrespectful. Like, that's what the Vikings are. Sorry to Logic fans. Sorry to Hobson fans. Sorry to whoever we made mad in a way of getting to it. But yes, Kirk Cousins, the Flo Rida of football. Like, you know, just not going to take it serious. Like, you know how you know your favorite rapper sold out is when they do a song with Flo Rida and Daddy Yankee. Like, that's when you know, okay, they're getting the bag. You know what I mean? Oh, Wiz did a song with who? Okay. Okay. You know what, man? I'll call it Mike Florio a hater.
I be telling you a hater, dog. I be telling you
all
the time.
I'm not.
Telling you all the time.
I'm not. I'm just very passionate about how good Kirk Cousins isn't. Like,
defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson,
Right.
who signed with the Browns early in
right.
free agency.
Yep.
Linebacker Eric Kendricks was cut. He landed with the Chargers. Patrick Peterson was a free agent. He signed with the Steelers. Chandon Sullivan.
you know what's crazy though? Like, everybody that they named the Vikings got rid of, you're like, yo, they weren't that bad last year though. But like, they were that bad last year as a unit. Like, because Pete signed with the Steelers, and people were telling me, hey, Pete was good last year. You know, Eric Kendricks, I don't know if he was good last year. I have no idea. I have not heard anything about him. But like Dalvin Thomas, people tell me that he was good last year. So Darius Smith was like, he was good last year. It was like, what in the Joe Woods was going on with that defense? Like how are they that bad then? It don't make any sense that they were that bad.
Woods.
Like, it was insane. It's insane. Like, we don't know who was that bad in that Minnesota defense, mainly because we don't go out our way to watch that much Minnesota football. But, like, it don't seem like they had a bad roster. Why were they that bad?
It really feels like they had a bunch of talented dudes on that defense, and it just did not work out.
Dudes that put up good numbers. So you calling me a hater. Browns. Over under 17 wins this year.
Over 17 wins?
Mm-hmm.
Under.
Hating.
I know, man. I know, man.
You know what I mean?
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Every accusation that Colb gets me is a confession. You know what I mean? It's a confession.
Listen, I've never claimed not to be a hater.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now you said you were optimistic.
I am optimistic.
I think the difference between being optimistic and being a hater is a matter of perspective. Truthfully. Like, if I think the Browns are going to go 17-0 and I think the Bengals are going to go 8-8, does that make me a hater of the Bengals? Yes. Does that make me a hater of the Browns? No. It's a matter of perspective. You know what I mean? It's a matter of somebody got to lose. Shout out to Colb and his Steelers. Y'all have a great day.
Wow.
Y'all have a great day. Another episode of Q and Colb. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, hit the link. Colb, where can they find you and all of your Steelers takes? You know, he don't even like the Cavs, man. He cheer for the Lakers. Hater.
All the brown spaces I do, you just talking about I'm a Steelers fan?
Kenny Rhoda worked in this city for years and he was a Steeler fan. You know what I mean? Like, you act like secret agents don't exist. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might be doing espionage for Mike Tomlin. I don't know. You know, I never heard you denounce it.
That's crazy. I will never be a Steelers fan. I will suffer before I'm a Steelers fan. I am perfectly fine with that.
Okay, now I know. Now about the Golden State Warrior accusations.
I am not a Golden State Warriors fan. That's never been a thing.
Mm-hmm. Never
been a thing.
Even when like Stack 5 was on the team.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Always been a Laker fan though. He was right about that.
Yeah. And a Cowboy fan.
Never been a Cowboy fan.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't know.
I am not a Laker, Cowboy, Yankee fan. If you guys are wondering, I am not one of those.
This is Q and Colb. Make sure you follow Colb on Twitter. He has interesting, hating ass takes over there. You know what I mean? Yeah. You should change it from underscore Colb to hating ass Colb. You know what I mean? Feel like that would flow better. You know what I mean? Because apparently you are the hater and I am the one that is optimistic. Y'all have a great day. Shout out to the GOAT, Mike FLORIO, the greatest of all time.
Hey, that got to be the title of the video. Shout out to the GOAT, Mike FLORIO.
Just GOAT, and it's a picture of Mike FLORIO sitting like that. This is a very unserious recording session of me today. Unfocused for the start. You know what I mean?
We barely talked about the trade.
Unfocused. But it's the off season, man. You know, this is what y'all come here for. Y'all don't come here so I can tell y'all spreadsheets of sports. Y'all come here to have a good time, and I hope I provided that for you. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Let me end the show, man.